Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now Ethereum is fastly approaching this important line of resistance, while Bitcoin is also running into a bit of short-term resistance at the moment, which we need to talk about later in the video. Definitely stick around. First of all, starting off on the 3-day Bitcoin chart, and what we could see in the 3-day Bitcoin RSI is the initial stage of a potential breakout right here, which I talked about in yesterday's video, but since then we have seen another 3-day candle close, and that happened while the 3-day Bitcoin RSI was slightly above this downward sloping line of resistance. So technically speaking, we now have one confirmation for this larger bullish breakout. But with that being said, considering the fact that this is only one confirmation, and considering the fact that the RSI is only just above this line of resistance, I'd like to see a little bit more confirmation, with perhaps the RSI crossing above 50 on the 3-day time frame. And as always, I'll be sure to keep you updated on this indicator in these videos. But anyway, heading into the daily Bitcoin chart, and what we can see right now is the daily Bitcoin RSI struggle around this level of resistance. Just 2 days ago, we saw an initial breakout to the upside above this level of resistance in the daily Bitcoin RSI, but since then we've seen a slight pullback in the daily Bitcoin RSI, and this could be seen as a possible retest if we see a bit more of a bounce in the coming days. And obviously in that case, that would further confirm this bullish breakout, and in that more bullish scenario, the Bitcoin price would likely be heading up towards the 38.2% Fibonacci level of resistance, which is sitting at around 25.8k as our next most important level of resistance. But between now and then, we still have this ascending line of resistance, which is coming to play at around 24.7k approximately. So when it comes to the daily time frame, those are the levels to watch in the somewhat shorter term relative to the daily time frame. And the support level to watch out for is still this ascending line of support for this technical rising wedge pattern, which is coming into play at around $23,500 per Bitcoin. And basically, if the Bitcoin price breaks below that level, then this rising wedge pattern would begin to play out. And considering it is technically a bearish pattern, we would then have to talk about more bearish price targets. And one of those technical price targets for this rising wedge pattern, if we do end up seeing a confirmed break below around 23,500, would be coming into play at around 20,500, which is right around where this previous low is coming into play as well. But considering the fact that we haven't yet seen a confirmed break back below an important level of support in both the price or the RSI, these more bearish price targets are not currently active, at least as of right now. So technically speaking, in terms of the trend on the daily time frame, obviously this is still technically more of a bullish trend than a bearish trend. We're still making higher lows and higher highs. And so until we actually start seeing more bearish confirmation, like a break below support, then I'm simply more bullish than bearish as of right now on the daily time frame. But obviously, even though the trend on the daily time frame is more bullish than bearish, we can still have short-term pullbacks, which on smaller time frames like the 4-hour Bitcoin chart look more like downtrends. But in reality, when you zoom out to the daily time frame, those are just minor pullbacks within a slightly larger bullish trend. And so going back to the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, we can see here that the Bitcoin price has technically broken below the ascending line of support for this rising wedge pattern. But in the immediate short term, we are finding some support at around that 5-day moving average, as I spoke about yesterday. And this 5-day moving average is currently coming into play at around 24.1k to 24.2k. But with that being said, the 4-hour Bitcoin MACD still shows a lack in momentum to both the bullish and the bearish direction at the moment, which basically means we shouldn't exactly be expecting these sort of explosive bullish or bearish movements on the smaller time frames, and instead movements more like this. But remember, on the daily time frame, this would potentially only look like one of these moves on the daily time frame, which means technically we're still more bullish than bearish on the larger time frames. But anyway, getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this right here is the 3-day Ethereum chart, and if we're looking at the RSI, like I said yesterday, we've already seen a major breakout above this significant descending line of resistance. And right now, we've already seen 2 confirmations on this 3-day time frame for this breakout, which means we have already seen 2 3-day candle closes where the RSI is above this massive line of resistance, which technically means Ethereum has already confirmed a massive bullish breakout from a significant bearish market. But as I always say, I want to make it clear this is on the larger time frames, the 3-day chart, so this is giving us a longer term signal, not an immediate short-term signal, which means this bullish breakout in the 3-day Ethereum RSI does not mean that we're going to see bullish price action over the next few days or weeks, and instead means that Ethereum could potentially be within a larger bullish reversal out of a multi-month long downtrend into potentially a multi-month long uptrend. But remember, in these larger moves in the market, we still have periods of time where the price action goes against the trend. For example, in this larger uptrend that we saw in the second half of 2021, throughout pretty much the entire month of September, we saw bearish price action, even though that was within the larger bullish trend. And during the first quarter of this year, we saw a lot of bullish price action, but it turned out that that was obviously within a larger bearish trend. So let's just say if the price of Ethereum experiences a decent pullback within the next 1 month or so, then for as long as the RSI, for example, doesn't break back below this level, then that would still be okay for Ethereum within a larger bullish trend, just like how it was okay during this larger bullish trend for the price to have a 1 month long pullback. But even though we currently have this bullish reversal signal in the 3-day Ethereum RSI, which currently has 2 confirmations, I would still like to see the price of Ethereum break above this golden pocket on the daily time frame before becoming even more confident of the bullish reversal playing out. And this golden pocket level of resistance is sitting in between around 2.1k and 2.2k. So if we see a breakout above 2.2k, and especially if Ethereum flips that into support, then that would be extremely bullish for Ethereum, and that would further add to the confirmation that we're in a larger bullish reversal. But as I was saying yesterday, considering the fact that the daily Ethereum RSI just entered into overbought territories a couple days ago, it would actually be healthier for this bullish trend if Ethereum plays out a bit more of a cool-off to help reset this RSI to give us more room to the upside later on. And a cool-off could either be a bit of a pullback in the price of Ethereum or a sideways consolidation, because if Ethereum is just consolidating sideways, then that can help reset the RSI towards its neutral level, which is 50. Because otherwise, if we don't see any cool-off and we just immediately attempt a break above the golden pocket, then while we're doing that, the RSI would likely already be overbought, which means technically speaking, we have limited room to the upside, and that's usually when the uptrend starts to fizzle out. And obviously, seeing a scenario like that would not be healthy for this bullish trend and could likely result in a more bearish reversal back to the downside. And so when you consider that, it's likely that between now and around the end of September, between now and then, we would likely end up seeing a larger pause in this trend, whether that's a consolidation or a pullback within the next 1 month or so, before then seeing a breakout. Or if we see a breakout sooner rather than later, then that would actually not be good for Ethereum, because if we see a breakout sooner rather than later, then in that case, like I just said earlier, Ethereum would be extremely overbought and would be way too overheated. And in that potential scenario, it would be unlikely that the breakout above this golden pocket would be a successful breakout, and instead we could end up in a larger bearish reversal. But anyway, just zooming into the 12-hour Ethereum chart, and we can still see that technically speaking, this rising wedge pattern is still currently forming. And these levels to watch out for, first of all, the resistance is coming into play just above 2000, more specifically at around 2030. And the line of support to watch out for is coming into play just above 1800, more specifically at around 1830. But anyway, zooming into the 4-hour Ethereum chart, and right now we're contacting this 5-day moving average as a bit of short-term support, and that is coming into play at just above 1900. And what we've seen over the past 1 day, which is actually great to see, is a cool off in the RSI, which is what I've been talking about over the last couple of days, because with the RSI in overbought territories on the 4-hour time frame, we were due to see a bit of a cool off to help reset the RSI back towards 50. And now that we've seen that, technically speaking, we now have some more room to the upside, but we still need to pay close attention to around 1900 as some short-term support, because if we see a break below that level, then this short-term cool-off could continue down towards this ascending line of support, which is coming into play at around 1760. And so basically, the situation at the moment in the short term for Ethereum is that, yes, we're still in this bullish trend, but we're currently within a cool-off, just a pause within the bullish trend, like this, for example. And if we break that 5-day moving average at around 1900 once again, then we could revisit this ascending line of support, as I just said. And if you want to know how to profit from all of these moves in the market, whether or not the price is going up, down, or just chopping around sideways, then check out these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how to make money if the price is going either up or down, and the video in the bottom left shows you how to make money if the price is chopping around sideways. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.